Good morning, everybody. I am just a couple of minutes early to bring people on to join me with this first day of the 21-day cleanse, I'm calling it. This is actually the 8th day of lockdown for us here in Spain, and it is now going to be extended to 15 days. So for any of you in the UK or anyone out there who haven't experienced this lockdown yet, it's coming, and it ain't that much fun. I mean, we've been laughing between us all online. We've been keeping each other's spirits high, which has been great. But I feel this week there's this sense of everyone's sort of coming down, realisation of what's actually happening. And today I ventured out to a small supermarket, which is a bit further away than the place across the road, which I generally go to because it had a little bit more frozen food on offer and meat. We haven't really got anything in our cupboards or fridge, and now being on lockdown for an extra 15 days, we do need some things, and I don't want to keep going out. So I went up there, and actually it was really scary, the whole ordeal. I don't know if it's because I watched Outbreak last night. Could be. That's definitely worth a watch. For anybody who's not taking this seriously, watch it, because it sort of does put the frighteners on you a little bit. But for anybody that's not really experiencing the lockdown as yet, hi Julia, if you're not quite experiencing that yet, it sort of just wakes you up to actually how serious this can be. Hi Jackie. So I went to the local shop, and there's been a new legislation now there's already been, you've got to be 2 meters apart, you can only go out to walk the dog, you have to be separate in cars, you have to do all of this. But today it was sort of like you can only take your dog up to 50 metres away from the house, which is great for me because mine generally only wants to go a couple of metres anyway, come back. So I'm quite lucky. But what he's doing now is going stir crazy and running around like a crazy thing. So I may have to stop and calm things down. The cats and everyone, they're all mental at the moment. They'll probably go to sleep in a minute. So things have changed. And now they're saying, if you don't have gloves on in all the supermarkets, they will provide them for you. So I go up to this shop that I haven't been to since the lockdown because I thought I really need to just get some extra bits and pieces that they don't supply in the shop across the road. And I sort of looked at these people, and they're all there with their masks on and, look like shell suits. It really sort of felt like a science fiction movie. And I said, have you got any gloves? And they were like, no. So they handed me 2 plastic bags for my hands. Have you ever tried opening a plastic bag to put vegetables in with plastic bags on your hands? Now that was a fun thing to watch, although I've got to admit I really felt this fear, this sense of impending doom, and that I just wanted to get out of there, I'll be honest. And Sean's not going because he's actually one of the vulnerable, having asthma, so I just got in there and got out. But, they were really taking their time. Hi, Sara. And it was just really freaky anyway. I was just glad to get back, and I sort of breathed and thought, okay, what do we really need? And we are being very, very resourceful here, and we are only getting what we need. We don't have the income to buy huge shops anyway, because my income's literally gone down since this time. Sean doesn't work. There's nothing at the moment. I know they're doing some things for self-employed here, but so far nothing. And also we don't have a car. That's just another thing to add to this. So we couldn't have gone and done a massive shop anyway. So we are literally eating, it's hand to mouth, and we're just thinking, right, okay, we'll have pasta this day, we'll do rice. And today we actually rationed, and I'm really lucky because I've got somebody I love next to me, and I think that is worth more than anything. And even he said, an avid meat eater, that he would eat vegetables if necessary. And that's the thing, that's what you do to survive. Now I decided this morning I thought, you know what, I can share the love, and I can share what I do with you guys if you want to tune in with me every day. May not be at the weekends, but I will upload things. I put an event page up on Facebook. You can add your stuff as well, and I would encourage, I may just start a little group or a page that people can, anyone that's in well-being, fitness or anything like that, or have got some great ideas to help lift the spirits. If you want to add a link to YouTube, or hi Mariana, if you want to, hi Denise, hi Pat, if you want to add a little video of you doing some exercise, or maybe, hi Jill, if you, I don't know, you've got something creative to share, just to help people, give them some focus, something to do. I have so much to do, it's ridiculous. In fact, I was sort of thinking, I could use this as time off, but actually that would be silly because I can now use this time to get things done. But there are people that are starting to get bored, and a friend of mine said, she's going to do an online course, and I would say that, use the time to re-educate yourself in being resourceful, in re-educate your perspective of things, enlighten your mind as to the reality of what is going on, and to make the best of your life, because right now things are being taken away from us so we can focus on what is important. Okay, so today gloves are important or plastic bags. I'm walking down the road with these plastic bags in my head going, hello, trying to which was quite entertaining. I should have videoed it really, should I, in the supermarket, but I'm not sure. That would have gone down well because everyone looked so serious. I'm just going to quickly, I'm going to do the cards for the day, and then I'm going to start on this re-education of the mind. Now, if you are lacking in abundance, if you are lacking in excitement, if you are a little bit misdirected where your life is going, this is where you need to be tuning in every day, because I'm going to take you on the steps. This is part of my 6-step program, which I sell. This is part of what I do, and I'm giving you free therapy. How great is that? Now, obviously, I'm not going to be doing past life regression necessarily, or doing, deep meditations. But what I will be doing is sharing some of the techniques that I use on a regular basis, and has helped me revamp the way that I think things. How I've learned to use a different language, how I've used to think in an alternative way, so that I can bring more abundance into my life and bring more happy times and live good, Julia. Because we shared some stuff. Did you get my reading, by the way? Just want to check you did get that, because I did do it yesterday. So I'm hoping you're all right there. I was thinking about you today. So I'm just going to do the cards for the day, have a look at that, and then we'll get straight in. And the first step is awareness. Being aware of the situation, being open to it, and seeing the reality and what we can do. But it's actually about being aware of yourself to be aware of everything else around you. So the first card that I've got here, this is one of my sand cards. These are available to buy. And they are back to front, I think, on screen. Negotiation I picked today. More than one pathway brings opportunity for discussion. So there's more than one option. You can take it or leave it. You can take somebody's advice. You can be influenced by somebody. You can just read a book and take that as read, literally. Or you can go an alternative way. And this is showing a crossroads in the sand. This is a point we are at right now, although it may feel like we've all got to stop it at the junction. Oh, good, Julia. The junction is there to take an opposite direction. And if you're, I don't drive, but if you know how a road works, if any of you do, like come to the traffic lights, and in some traffic lights, and there is probably a specific name for these roads, where one light's on and you have to go a particular direction. You're not allowed to necessarily turn right. You both can go forwards or left. It's that type of thing. It's almost like we've got options, but there may only be two, but that's okay because you still have a choice. So in this situation right now, we have a choice. We can self-isolate and look after ourselves, or we can go out and run around the parks and be absolute plonkers and just keep, mixing it all up, which is just made me howl this morning. I had a conversation with my mother today, right? Now she's a bit annoyed because she's self-isolating, but she said the work that has been waiting to be done for 4 years of painting the outside of her property, she's in like this very small sort of place of cottages, they've decided to do it today. And she said, I can't go out because I have to like mix with these people. They're looking in the window. Hi, Mandy. while I'm in my pyjamas still, waving at me while I'm making my cup of tea, and she feels more threatened and restricted by that. And I said, well, why are they doing the work now? Of all the times we're being told to not do these things, everyone's doing it. Anyway, she sort of, I told her my story about the supermarket, and I suppose in some ways I'm wanting to sort of get her to understand the reality, because, she's like, oh yeah, I'm isolating, I'm doing my thing, and I'm only getting what I need. But I'm going for a walk with your aunt, and I'm doing this. And I said, okay, well, my aunt is married to her husband, who used to go to the pub every single day and was mixing with people every day. And he's done that for his whole life virtually. And so and she said, yeah, but I'm not mixing with him. And I said, but he's mixing with your sister, who you're now spending time with. So how is that working? So you think just going together, it's almost like people are picking, they think, oh, well, because it's someone I know, it's not going to happen. Okay. Well, you don't know where that person has been in the last week or so. So the next card I'm going to get is abundance, which is what I'm going to be talking about today as well, how to create more abundance in your life, and it is flow. So the message here very, very clearly is go with the flow. If you are uncertain, just go with it. Let go of worrying about what is going to happen, because it will all change in a moment. Trust me, it is going to change within the next couple of days. I'm even being told right now in the next 24 hours something is going to change big time in one place. And I think people are going to start listening. I've just watched a load of horrific pictures online actually of the hospitals in Madrid, and people just literally laying in the corridors with drips coming out their arms, or just laying there really, because there's no beds. Okay, so think about that when you're going out with your best friend who, hi Mariana, sorry I lost myself then because I was talking to someone. You're going out with somebody who you think is completely safe just because you know them, but you don't know the virus. The virus is sitting there going, I'm going to mutate in a minute. I'm going to make some friends and I'm going to become completely different. Think of the virus like a superhero that evolves every time he takes some energy off somebody. He just keeps getting bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger. Remember those films you watch, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and things like that type of stuff. We don't know how this virus thinks. It's a little bit like trying to profile a serial killer. How does this person think? How does this virus? We'll never know. So how do you know just because you know your friend? But how do you know what they're doing behind closed doors? Right, okay. So moving on, relationships. You may feel a bit pushed out by some people today. You may feel some of you may feel actually isolated and a bit frightened. And I do feel this week, and like I say, I felt that sense of, when I went out, and even us psychics, light workers who are supposed to know everything and are protected, yes, we still feel fear, trust me. And it's good to feel the fear rather than suppress it. But the heart detective is saying spend some time connecting with that fear, and which is something else we'll be bringing into these daily chats, and then you can understand it better, and then you can release it, okay? And it's all we need to focus on the heart now, guys. Not only giving out to other people, but also looking after ourselves in the right way. I don't know if anyone saw the blog that I did about self-preservation. It's not about being selfish in the less beneficial way. It's actually about preserving yourself so that you can be of use to others. Think about the medical workers. If they get sick because our ignorance, there won't be anybody to look after us. So, think about that. They're not invincible either, and they're putting themselves out there every day. So, and being in Spain right now in this lockdown, seriously, it is real. Trust me, it is. And I'm really apologise if I'm scaring anybody, but in some ways I sort of do, because when you feel that fear, you stop and you think. All right, listen to your instincts today. These new beginnings starting, it's time to use your skills, which is what I'm going to be talking about and encouraging people to do during this time. What could you achieve? What could you achieve in a matter of 7 days, or 15 or 21? You could completely change your life if you really want to. Now, you could do that anyway. right? Most people think, well, if I'm going to change my life, I need to, study something new, I need to get a diploma in this. Well, not necessarily. You could just learn from yourself and learn about yourself. If you learn about yourself, you'll understand where you really want to go. And the reason most people really sorry, this cat is doing my head in. If the people really don't know where they're going, is because they don't know what they want. Why do they not know where they want? Because they don't know themselves, and maybe haven't given themselves time to commit to their true desires, hopes and dreams. And this is a normal or quite a frequent thing that I come across as a therapist and as a reader, that people don't want to commit to their own hearts. They would rather avoid that, because that would mean committing, that would mean paying attention, that would mean taking time on themselves, and that could be awkward, or that could be painful, because if you go there, that's going to bring up all this other stuff that's been lying dormant for years, and suddenly you've got to face it. Okay. There is a simple way, this is actually a simple, effective program that I'm going to introduce online. And obviously, if you were to sign up later, and if you wanted to go into more depth with me, that's up to you. But I'm going to teach you some of the basic things for free. So the first thing is awareness. Okay, so we're becoming aware of a situation that's going on now, and we're becoming aware of it's bringing up our fear. So we're becoming aware of that. So if we can do that in, it takes this much, can you imagine if you just were to look at yourself, how easy that would really be, so we're seeing this as difficult, challenging times, whereas actually if you were just to spend some time with yourself, things would be really, really simple. So if you have a piece of paper, get a piece of paper. I was going to use my whiteboard actually, but I'm not going to, because I can't find the pen that goes on it, and if I start writing on it, then I won't be able to rub it off. And I now have a cat who is chucking cubes around the floor. Oh my God, this is crazy, this house. Right, so the first thing I want you to write on the piece of paper is how you feel right now, or just to ask yourself, how do you feel right now? How you feel emotionally. Now, this process starts by getting, I don't know if you can read that, it's back to front. This process is about getting you into the present moment, okay? And you can download a journal. I will put a link. It's on Amazon, and it's literally, I think it's under $1. It's very, very inexpensive, and it's all laid out, and you can do it twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, okay? And it asks questions like this: how do you feel right now? So in the morning you write, this is how I feel. Then you need to write down, so if you've got a piece of paper, go and get one, or just ask yourself, how do I feel? So right now I feel a bit, really connect. How do you feel? I feel just okay, actually. I'm unafraid. I'm okay. I'm just in quite a good space. Quite focused, because I'm doing this with you. But are you feeling afraid? If you feel afraid, put down afraid. Are you feeling emotional? If you're feeling tired, whatever. Just be honest. The most important thing is that you are honest with how you're feeling, and let go of trying to come up with emotion as you're doing it. So he's right. How do I feel now? What do I feel like doing? What do you feel like doing? So, this is terrible writing. Look. I think I'm going to stop there. What do you feel like doing? Do you feel like just sitting and staring at a wall? Do you feel like eating some food? Do you feel like just laying around and watching TV? Or do you just feel nothing? Whatever you feel like doing, do you feel like going for a run? So I want you to, so first of all you ask, how do I feel right now? Then, what do I feel like doing? Then write down next to that, what should I be doing? Okay? What do I feel I should be doing? And then write a list of all the things you feel you should be doing. All right? And that list right there of what you should or you feel you should be doing is not yours. Okay? That's an influence from outside. That is coming from a place of old patterning, conditioning, or of just maybe a feeling of responsibility, which isn't, it's someone else's, or it's something you feel because you don't feel you're deserving enough to do what you feel like doing. All right? So this is a very simple practice, but it's a very good of getting you into the present moment, because what you feel like doing is how you are. How you're feeling right now is how you are right now. What you should be doing, when you've written it down in front of you, you can see it clearly. And that's why I always say write it down, because it comes out of your head onto paper. Then, after you've done that, write down, what would I like to do? What would I like to achieve? What goals do I have right this minute? You know, it might be, I'd really love to write a book today. I'd really love to make a cake. I really would like to have the chance to go shopping, or anything you want. You really just need to think what you would like to achieve. Now, these are your dreams. These are your daily dreams. It could be little things like, I really wish I could walk because I've been in plaster for 3 weeks, you know. These are things that we, as in general, we sort of, you know, a lot of people with neurosis is sort of, oh, I wish I could have that. I wish I could have that. I really want that, but they never do it. Okay, because they're not looking at what they're actually doing. They're spending time thinking about what they could be doing. Okay, so you write that down as well. So we've got so far, how do we feel right now? What do we feel like doing right now? What should we be doing right now? And what would I like to achieve today? Then all you do is write down anything. Just put pen to paper and just write down everything that's in your head. Anything that comes into your head. Or if it's first thing in the morning, you do it, write down your dreams, what you've experienced, what you've learnt from yesterday, or what you've learnt from what you've just written down. That would be something. Anything you want, okay? Now, this is a really simple practice. It's part of the program that I do. There is a few more questions in there, but it is a very good way of doing it daily, getting yourself into the present moment right now. Now, before you go to bed, you ask the question, what did I do today? And you write down all the things you did achieve. And what did you maybe not do? You know, it's about being clear. Because you can see it in writing, you are absolutely clear about where you are at that present moment. Then it might be, I think there's a question you could write, what would I like to do tomorrow? Or what do I want to be doing now? Because in the evening, and this is what I've noticed, and I do this a lot, I could be sitting there thinking, oh, tomorrow I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to paint. The moment I wake up, I want to do something different. But because I told myself the night before that I was, I should be painting, then I wake up and then I start blaming. You know, it's easy to then start blaming yourself because you didn't do it. And then you feel like, oh, I've let myself down. And this is a thing that you need to be aware of. This first step is all about awareness. It's about being aware of how you think, how you feel in the moment, and being aware of how your mind starts creating all these other scenarios before you've even done it. Now, this practice, morning and night, like I say, you can download it for under $1 on Amazon. I will put a link here. And then it's literally there in print for 7 days. It's on Kindle, so you can just do it for one day and then just rewrite it. Do it first thing in the morning when you wake up and just before you go to bed. And I will say, even this for some is less easy. All right, it's a challenge because you're committing to a new practice and you're committing to something for you. And I'm not joking, it takes probably 10 minutes out of your day. And that 10 minutes, how many times during the day do you just spend 10 minutes doing nothing? Wasting time, maybe playing some game on the computer, watching a really rubbish film, just sitting there for 10 minutes worrying about what's going to happen next. There is nothing we can do about where this virus is going. There is nothing we can do about it migrating. It's going to migrate and change and turn into a great big monster with 20 heads. There is nothing we can do unless there is a vaccine to stop it. okay? Us personally, the only thing we can do is do what we're guided to do, is in self-isolate and preserve our own survival and the lives of other people around us by being sensible, okay? And in the meantime, while you're self-isolating, you could be working on you and looking at what really frightens you, what really is stopping you moving forwards. Because when we're all just left to our own devices, and let's face it, we're lucky, we've got computers, we've got paper, we've got pens, we've got paint, we've got food, we all have certain skills, but how often, what are we using, how are we using those skills? Are we wasting our days? Are we wasting the time we're given? So use this time to alter the way you look at things, alter the way you think, and start becoming aware of what you're doing. Now, this little process, like I said, you can download it. I'm going to put the link on there and you can follow it every day. And people that I have who've done this program with me, I don't think there's anybody watching at this point. There is a video on YouTube of their experiences. A lot of them, they carried on with this it's like a 6-day or 7-day journal, and they just carried on. And I find that I pick it up, and whenever I feel a little bit wobbly or all over the place and I'm like all scattered, whereas a lot of us do, especially if you're a creative type, or you are, you work in therapy, or you're working with other people's issues, you can be picking up all of that stuff. You come home, you have it all in your brain, you're influenced by everything around you, you're influenced by TV, you're influenced by your family. It's like, what should I do? And how many times have you asked someone, what should I do? What do you think I should do? What about you? What do you yourself, what do I think? What are my instincts about this? Okay, so this program will turn this around. So the other thing that you can start becoming aware of, because this is about awareness, is your own thoughts. How do you think? What's going on in that head? Are you thinking I should? Or are you thinking I could? Are you thinking I can't? Or are you thinking I can? How many negative words do you use? When somebody offers you an opportunity, a freedom, a doorway, do you make excuse and say, I would, but I can't because... Listen to what you're thinking. And one exercise that you can do is spend 20 minutes, or if you can do an hour, in complete silence. For some of that isn't easy, because if you've got a big family and you're walking around saying nothing, people always talk to you. It's like, go away. But it's a really good way of communicating in a new way, of learning to communicate without speech. But it also leaves you with your thoughts, because within that hour you could come up with a lot of solutions to issues that are bugging you. But how many of us do take even 10 minutes of silence, or feel we have to reach out? Because when you're just with yourself and your own thoughts, that's all you have. And suddenly it's all about you, and it's really about you in a good way, because suddenly you see the truth. And that's what this awareness is about. So this is the first process. It's a very simple, I'm giving you a few simple things to do, and just do it for one day. See what happens. Start listening to how you think when somebody says something to you. Do you suddenly think, and get angry? Do you think in your head, are you sitting there thinking about somebody being angry about them? Are you aware you're even doing it? When you see something on telly and someone says, oh, you could win £1,000, do you in your head say, yeah, right? Are you telling yourself you're unable to do that? Or are you thinking, yes, that would be good? And I don't mean get suckered in by some of these silly, these adverts of, that are ridiculous, okay? Or let's buy all this cleaning product because it's going to, because they're basically, that's a selling thing, okay? Do be influenced by, in a good way, that it's a possibility. Like, for instance, right now we have no way of knowing what's going to happen next with this virus, where it's going to go, how it's going to stop, how it's going to be prevented, okay? And for some people it will feel like a miracle. So is it not time we started believing in miracles? Okay, just because the unknown is there doesn't mean it's not going to happen. All right, so think outside the box, but at the same time think within yourself. Start listening to who you are, start listening to your truth, start listening to how you're really feeling. And the more you become aware of how you're thinking, the more you will alter the way you communicate to yourself first. When you change the way you communicate to yourself, you will express yourself differently, and communication will be different with other people. And taking this time, ultimately committing to this, just even for one day or 10 minutes a day, is giving yourself the love. It's giving yourself to the commitment. And when you love yourself, you will receive love in return. It's simple. And that's the thing. It's almost too simple, isn't it? So, are you going to give it a go, guys? That's the question. So that's my little class for this morning. And tomorrow we're going to be looking at dealing with fears, what we're really afraid of, and how to deal with that. So has anybody got any questions they would like answered before I go today? Any psychic questions answered? I don't know if I can actually find all my equipment, because the animals have thrown it all over the floor. Has anybody got any? Okay, nobody's asking any questions. Julia, in your answer, or your question, are we focusing about the virus? We are the virus. That's the whole point. We are focusing on ourselves and making ourselves better during this time and having a better... Oh, you've got a question, have you, Mariana? What is that? What is your question, my darling? I'm looking at the screen. Have you got a question? I've got this tea, but this tea's got a bit cold now. Oh. Do you love my bird, Vicky? This is the blue parrot. This is for it's practice to do at the blue, to paint on a wall. So yeah, it's not finished yet. Only the top bit is. I need to do some painting today. I feel I want to do some painting today. Have you got a question, Mariana? I haven't seen your question. Maybe you're still typing it out. Has anybody else got a question? Are you feeling better now, Vicky? So your huge things going on. You're wondering, okay. Smiling. Okay, because I'm going to need to come off in a minute. So quickly ask a question. Quickly now. You're feeling much better. Good, Vicky. I'm really glad. Glad. That was a bit scary. Okay, let go of doubts, everybody. It's going to be a bit stressful, a bit up and down the next 10 days or so. I'm seeing people really freaking out. It's that sense where, have you ever seen a film where, I'm sure you have, when everyone's like locked in somewhere and there's like, I said there's a killer or something on the loose, and then somebody goes, I'm leaving the house, I'm not staying in here, and they run out into the darkness and you think, they've had it. This is what I feel. It's like some people are going to panic in a different way, and just almost like it's bringing out a crazy in people, really crazy, and that's what I feel it's going to be on the news quite a bit. So watch out for that, and you get yourself grounded, guys, and just be safe. And if you need the support, there's lots of groups here. Yeah, we could definitely do a group meditation, Vicky, one day. On my event page, write something up like that if there's anything that anybody wants to do. And, we need to all be there, obviously, at the same time, and then we can all connect as we need. Yeah, I would like to do that, actually, definitely. All the cats are asleep now, so that would work better for me without anybody jumping all over me. Okay, so I'm going to move on now. Doesn't seem to be any questions, but just keep yourself safe, everybody. Start doing these exercises of being aware. I will put the link at the bottom of this. Sorry, you asked, Maureen, you just want some guidance. Okay, so I'll just do this quickly for you. Okay. basically, the guidance for you is just you have the control in your hands. Just stay positive and let go of some anger. There's some anger going around you at the moment, or irritation and it could be just anything. Maybe something isn't working out, going as fast as you'd like, or you're just angry at yourself. I feel this is more directed to you. The heart is opening. There's a positive way forwards. There is going to be a little bit of a miscommunication, I think, maybe an argument with somebody, or rattled, you know, people feeling a bit rattled. It might be you being a bit annoyed or something, but I think you're going to see, it could be someone else, and if it is, you're going to see the signs before that happens, and it's going to work out positively. Don't try too hard. That is the biggest message for you. Just be patient and let things turn around. Like I said, people are going through these, or they're going to be maybe going a little bit off the rails, or feeling a bit crazy for a while, and behaving a little bit crazy. So just flow with it a little bit and step away from the negativity. Just, again, keep to yourself, listen to your own thoughts, keep them positive, keep telling yourself that you're okay, that everything's going to be okay, and the more that you're doing that, the higher your vibration is going to go, and the more you'll project that out to other people, and they will pick up on it, and that will help spread the word. And that's what we need to be doing, is spreading a really positive virus, guys. Virus of happiness. Okay, so hoping you've enjoyed this, tuning in. I will put some, I'm going to say some links at the end of this video, and I am going to upload it to YouTube as well, and I will speak to you all tomorrow. So I'm doing Monday to Friday and having the weekends, because this weekend I just absolutely felt so drained. I'm picking up on everybody's stuff at the moment, and I actually felt ill, but I knew it wasn't the virus because it wasn't the same. It was just feeling drained. So you know, protect yourselves energetically as well as physically, and I shall speak to you all soon. You're welcome, Mariana. Bye.